Hi, my name is James Kinney. So this video is for those who are just starting guitar, pretty much brand spanking new, just got your very first guitar, and you're trying to hit a note with proper technique. That's what this video is all about. I'm going to teach you how to hit a note with proper technique. So the very first problem you'll run into is, first of all, your guitar is probably out of tune. So it's very important to get an electric tuner. Once you get more advanced, you will be able to tune by ear more efficiently. But this is a perfect tuner. They're not very expensive. It's called a Snark, but there's other electric tuners out there. What it does is it goes right on the top of the headstock, clamps down like that. You turn it on like this, and then basically what you want to do is you want to hit the top note, which is the E string, and you want to get it right in the green, as close as you can to the middle of the green. So that's E. Now A, D, G, it's pretty good, B, and then E. Okay? So now that the guitar is totally in tune, turn that off. You want to start hitting notes, okay? So the way the frets are laid out is the open strings, not hitting any notes on the fretboard. Those are considered zeros. In a tablature form, they're considered zeros. And the frets that go up the fretboard go from 0 is the open, then 1, 2, 3 is the first dot, 4, 5 is the second dot, 6, 7 is the third dot, 8, 9 is the fourth dot, 10, 11, 12. 12 is the octave of the open strings. So since this string is E, this will be E as well. Okay? And then 13 after 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so you very first want to just start hitting notes. I try to get my students hitting notes with proper technique really before they start approaching songs. So basically, if you could play a scale with proper tone, speed, and accuracy, with the right fingering as well, you can approach a song a lot easier. Trust me, it's the way you want to go, because a lot of people, they learn songs with the craziest, most wild fingerings you could ever imagine. So it just creates the worst habits possible. So songs, they're made out of 99.9% of the songs are made of scales one way or the other. So you want to be able to play these with proper technique, and then that's why it's good to have a teacher to guide you along the way to what's the first song that you should learn at your skill level type of thing. So at first you're probably going to get what's called fret buzz, and it sounds like this. Okay, I'm on the 5th fret here, hitting it with my index. And so how to prevent fret buzz is you want to hit in the middle of the fret as close as possible. But fret buzz has a lot to do with just you're playing too lightly. What's happening is the string isn't going all the way evenly down on the frets. You need to push hard enough where the string lays on both frets nice and even. If you start to lighten up, it goes like this. Versus see, and I could almost hit anywhere with this guitar. As long as I'm applying proper pressure, it won't create much fret buzz. As soon as I play too light, this is called muting, where I'm not even pushing down at all. I'm just hovering over the string, and so it's creating this sound, and then I push down. Okay? So this is not pushing at all. All I'm doing is covering the string from vibrating, so it creates this muted sound. Same goes for your palm. This is called a palm mute. I am going to simply lay my palm against the string that I'm hitting. In this case, I'm hitting the E string, the high E string, the low E string, and right there. It's preventing the string from vibrating, so it's muting it. So if you run into this problem, if you're pushing the string hard enough on this side, but it's coming out muted, then it's probably your right hand that you need to let go of. You need to bring it off the string so it rings out. Okay, so those are important things. So, and then when you're playing scales, the general rule that you want to do is 1 finger per fret in 99% of the cases. So in this case, if I'm going to the 5th fret, the 7th fret, the 8th fret, notice 1 finger per fret like this. This is proper technique. Okay? And then if you're in a scale where you do a root, skip, skip, I find that the index to the middle to the pinky is the best way, but you can use the ring for that middle note. Okay, that's the only exception. We don't have 5 fingers, so you have to do skip and figure out the best way for you. I like to use the middle finger because once you get to more advanced music, the middle finger tends to help itself the most. But all of the other scale positions, like this one, 1 finger per fret, okay? And then also, when I'm picking, this is very important. You don't want to pick too hard, okay? You don't want to rip its head off. So, when I'm picking, notice how little my right hand is moving. I could even go softer. Okay, and this is called alternate picking. It gets you're alternating between down strokes and up strokes. Okay? If you want to improve your picking, the best way to do it is to just, on your open strings or on a note, make it fluid. And so what you don't want to do is, you don't want to hit a note and then mute it. Mute the string with your pick and then hit it again, and it creates this choppy sound. You want it to be nice and fluid. Okay? So that's just a good way to work up speed, work out efficiency. And so when I'm hitting notes like this, I'm keeping my hand nice and tight. I'm keeping it locked in. I'm even putting my fingers down on the body of the guitar, one way or the other. Because if you hit the guitar like this, as a beginner, it's very hard to find your place again. So you find yourself always looking down. Looking here, oh, am I in the right spot? Okay, I am, now I'm going to look here. That just takes up too much time. So if your hand doesn't move very much, it makes you a lot more accurate, and you stay within the realm of where you're playing, instead of going into outer space. You know, just too much movement. You need to keep it nice and subtle. Okay? It's a very small area that you need to focus on. It's very easy to develop the right habits. Okay, so the most important thing is, just say it off the top of my head, proper fingering. Most cases it's just 1 finger per fret. That's what you want to do. Fret buzz, you need to push hard enough down. If it's making fret buzz, you're not pushing hard enough down. And at the same time, if you're pushing way too hard, that could also create fret buzz too. So there's a perfect kind of medium. Like for instance, when you develop the right technique, it requires almost no pressure at all. But at first, you might need to push a little bit harder to just figure out your sweet spot. So there's fret buzz, There's proper finger technique and then proper picking. Okay? Don't move your pick too much. Keep it nice and even. You could do all downstrokes in the very beginning, but you want to practice alternate picking as much as you possibly can. Just look at any great guitar player. They all do alternate picking. So it's kind of just, it's the best way, and it makes the guitar a lot more fun to play. Get a tuner so your guitar is in tune, so you develop your ear a little bit better. You don't want to, every single thing you learn, if it's out of tune, and then you finally tune it, it feels like you didn't learn anything at the end of the day. So you want to keep your guitar in tune. The strings, starting from here, is E, A, D, G, B, and then another E. So these are octaves. Okay, how to sit with your guitar. You want to be able to sit with proper form, okay? So notice, I'm sitting straight ahead, straight on, and my guitar is pointing at an angle like this. Don't play with your guitar perfectly flat like this, and you're going. It's super awkward, and it's just unrealistic. Like when you're standing and playing, your guitar is always a little bit sideways like this. And also, I like to lean over my guitar a little bit. I don't like to lean all back like this, and because I can't see very much, I like to be right over it. So you kind of lean over the guitar a little bit. That's proper form for you. And if you're a smaller person, really just focus on this technique a lot. Don't play up here. You want to play in the middle of, most of you have Stratocasters, so the middle pickup, if you play basically over that, you're good. Don't get in the habit of playing up here. It's a pretty hard habit to break. And also, it'll, in the long run, mess up the way that you want to mute the strings. If you're playing right here, my palm is almost resting on this, on the saddle. So it's helping me mute strings that ring out. For instance, like this. Notice how it quietens all that up. So I could, with my palm here and playing here, this is the best spot for tone, the most even spot for tone. And then by keeping my hand here, I'm keeping everything a lot tighter. So I don't have to try so hard to keep extra sound from messing up everything. Okay, so that's pretty much it. This switch right here, this is the bridge pick. This is the neck pickup all the way up like this. It creates a really bassy sound. The middle one is it gets like a less bassier and less bassier. And then the lead pickup. So they all have different purposes. Rhythm guitar should be on the bass pickup, so it creates big fat chords. The middle is, it's like a hybrid of both, and then the lead is really if you want to really become chimey, and you actually get a lot of character out of the lead. And here's the bass. So huge differences in tone with your pickup selector. That's what this is. So the neck pickup is very sensitive. It could get loud, like the bassy one. It could get loud very easily. So you kind of need to play pretty good for it. But at first, just focus on these little things. Email me if you need scale charts. Scale charts basically means if you want the right notes to play, you want to be able to play scales. Otherwise, it's like you have no idea what you're doing. There's a hidden map. There's a hidden, like a piano with the white keys and black keys. Same exact thing on the piano. So if you can't see this map where the notes are on the fretboard, you're just guessing. You're shooting blindfolded. That's just the reality of it. So all my students, they're all learning where the road map is very first thing. It's like you don't want to be walking in the dark blindfolded at the same time. Okay, so hope this all helps. Proper form, proper technique. Have fun always, and practice at least 30 minutes a day when you're first starting. 30 minutes goes by really quickly. My lessons are all an hour long, and everyone says that it's like, geez, that just went by so quick. So, yep, see you guys next time. Another very important rule to remember is proper finger form. When you're hitting the notes, don't go like this. Don't play the guitar like this. I made a funny little thing where if you're stomping on grapes and you're trying to make wine, you don't want to be wearing high heels, okay? So the fret hitting the note is like the grape, okay? This, playing with the tip, it's like a high heel, okay? It's too pinchy. You're going to have to push a lot harder to make the right sound. You're going to have to push really hard, and you're just using the tip of your finger, okay? Versus a boot, okay? If you're wearing big boots, big flat boots, you're going to make a way bigger bottle of wine, way quicker. So, same goes for hitting the frets. You want to make your finger nice and flat, and when I'm hitting the notes traditionally, it's about right in the middle. I'm not using the exact tip. I use the tip of my finger for other techniques, but when I'm just playing these scales, notice my fingers are pretty flat. They're not that clamped, but you can play super flat. If you played that flat, I'd be very impressed. It's totally fine. Guys like Paul Gilbert and a few other guys play with very flat fingers, and it looks very cool because your fingers look very long and stuff. So, but yeah, don't play all clamped like this. You'll get a lot more fret buzz. So just keep it nice and flat. Keep it nice and flat, and you'll get a much better tone.